Okay, everybody, hello. Here at Fermilabs, and just working on, okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. All right, everybody, we are here at Fermilabs, and I have special guest Quinn Michaels. Quinn, can you hear me? Let me see if I can turn you up a little bit here. Oh, yes. Speak again, please, Quinn.
Hello. Good morning, afternoon.
There we go. All right. I have to say, this is pretty cool. We're here at Fermilabs, and Quinn couldn't be with me physically, so we've got him on Skype. We're going to try to go inside there, Quinn. Oh, my hand is probably covering that. Whoop. Oh. Okay, this is very tricky to sort out. Can you hear me? Quinn's got the lab there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't see comments or anything like that. It's big, it's giant. Now, there's some crazy things about this place, Quinn. They've got a bunch of bison, buffaloes, hanging out on the grounds. And when I first arrived, I spoke with a security guard who was there, who said that the guy who started it, I guess his name is Enrique Fermi or something?
Yeah, Enrico Fermi.
Enrico Fermi wanted it to be like a range, the guy said, like a ranch or something. So they've got a bunch of buffaloes. There's also a bunch of houses past the security gate, but within the complex here. So who is living here at Fermilabs? I don't really understand.
Maybe they have a team of scientists that don't go off-site.
I guess, but it was like a little neighborhood. It was kind of strange. We've got this sort of recurring theme of little kind of mini towns associated with these colliders. I don't know what to tell you. I'll try to get some footage of that. I don't know if I'll be able to do it on this stream because it's pretty far away. So this is the main like visitors center or something, and we're able to go up to the oops, sorry, Quinn. This thing likes to go to sleep on me. I think I lost you there.
No problem. You're still good.
Okay, so this is the main visitor center. I guess, I don't know if this is the entrance. We'll see what they say about me walking around with two cameras like this. It's got to be pretty unusual. How you doing? There's a guy driving a Fermilabs truck. They have that logo that looks like a collider. Whoop. Hi. This is the public visitor center, right?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to go in with a camera?
Yeah, you should be all right.
Great, thanks. All right, Quinn.
It's not like a casino.
Right. Did you see that one earlier?
I did. I was watching that when I was picking up my...
Cool. All right. Oh, it's much warmer in here. So let's see. Ramsey Auditorium. Well, what should I look at, Quinn?
Is there a directory or a guide or something?
Well, this thing said Ramsey.
There's like the main entrance.
This is the main. I hope we don't lose you here. Are you still there, Quinn? It just made a beep like Skype is losing signal.
Connection.
Okay. Communication Center. Ramsey Auditorium. I think this is the main thing. Isn't Ramsey some mythical person? Connection is poor. That looks like a machine shop. This is crazy. Quinn? Oh, we might have lost Quinn. Quinn? Let's see if I can get Quinn back on the line there. Restrooms, Ramsey Auditorium. Let's see. Ramsey Auditorium. I think this is getting all jammed up here. Gimbal's not working. Sorry, folks. Let's see if we can get everything back into normal state. Hope I still have signal. 4G, no data. Interesting. Just working on restoring the signal here, folks. It's interesting that the gimbal doesn't want to work in here. I wonder if there's like some kind of magnetic deal there is going on. So Quinn is texting me. I do have 4G, it says, so I don't know. Hopefully we're still going. Let's see if I can. It's really weird. The gimbal is okay. There we go. 76 watch.
That logo that looks like a collider.
I hope we're still live. Anyway, let's see if I can carry on. It says it's not receiving data. I don't know. Well, we'll give it a shot. Here in Fermilabs, experiencing some technical difficulties. Let's see. And it still says it's not receiving data. Looks pretty closed. "50 years of discovery." It's an impressive building. Just doesn't seem to be broadcasting any longer. Let's see. Is Periscope still getting video? Wilson Hall reception. I don't know. Hi. Is the place open? Is there like an area that I can go to observe stuff?
Yeah. You sign in here.
Sure. There's no Wi-Fi in here, is there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, there is? Okay. Okay. So it starts working again. So now we're back to streaming. I don't know if this is going to get data to it though. Yeah, it still says no data. Oh, no, wait. I think it might be back. I I think it might be back. Let's see. There's only 76 people watching it now. But let's see if that did anything. Yeah. Okay. We're back to live, Quinn. That's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. Let's see if we can make this work here.
We'll make it work.
Okay. All right, Quinn. So Fermilabs, can you see? Oh, wait. Here, let me flip this around so you can see. Okay. Can you see that? So this is talking about how the whole place works. So I don't have enough hands to be able to view comments on the live stream while we're live streaming. And now somebody's calling me. I'm not going to answer that. Let me just turn that off. It's somebody from South Dakota. Should I answer it?
Why not?
Hello?
It's misery.
Professor Jimmy, how are you, man?
Oh, doing good. I just wanted to reach out to you and say thanks for coming out here, and I hope you made it home safe.
Well, thank you for calling. Hey, listen, I'm on a live stream here at the Particle Accelerator at Fermilabs in Chicago. Can I call you back?
Sounds good.
Take care, man. That's cool. That was almost like a panel right there, Quinn. We could have had Jimmy on the show. All right, so anyway, we got this big sign talking all about the magic number, 105. It's a rare occasion for an experiment, especially in particle physics, to have a signal that screams, look at me, but Mu2E is one of the lucky ones. Experimenters will look for one magic number coming out of the detector, 105. The number refers to 105 MeV, or mega electron volts, the amount of energy that indicates a muon has decayed into only an electron instead of a less energetic electron and neutrinos. To make the sensitive apparatus, researchers need new technologies and techniques, including special magnets, superconducting cables, and advanced detectors. So how do we know that element 93 is a superconductor?
Because when you look at the specification of the element itself online, you look at like the chart is the superconducting magnetic material, which sounds exactly like what they need.
Yeah, that's really super interesting. There's all this stuff that they're showing here. Now, this, I guess, is a picture of what's going on underground. Of course, I'm not allowed to go underground, but there are some places here in the facility that we can explore. Well, what else should we look at here? How does it work? Fermilabs particle accelerator makes muons. What's a muon, Quinn?
Muon is I don't know a lot of details about it. I haven't gotten a lot into it, but I know it's a type of particle that, with neutrinos, it's another type of particle they're researching.
Uh-huh.
We would probably have to find a scientist on that one, because the muons are like way, from what I understand, it's just a more advanced particle like the neutrino that they found. The muons, they're, I don't even want to speak about it unless I have some facts in front of me about it.
Okay. All right. So we don't know what a muon is. So Fermilab particle accelerators make muons by smashing a beam of protons into a pencil-sized tungsten target, creating a shower of particles. Magnetic fields whisk the muons away. What's that?
Who's working with tungsten? Jimmy works with tungsten and was talking about tungsten, wasn't he?
You're right. He was trying to recover tungsten, and they had to send it to Pakistan.
So now you're reading in their particle accelerators for the muons rely on tungsten.
It's interesting. So anyway,
Jimmy just called, so I think you just answered Jimmy's question of what they would need the refined tungsten for in Pakistan if they're making muon detectors.
Quinn, there's no way people are going to believe that this was not planned. I mean, it's just too crazy that Jimmy called.
Right?
All right, so wait a minute.
Jimmy called right as saying about the tungsten needed for the muon colliders. That's awesome.
Okay. So the magnetic fields whisk the muons away through an S-shaped superconducting magnet to their final stop, which is a two-stage detector that looks for the telltale sign of a muon transforming into an electron. Mu2E will be 10,000 times more sensitive than previous attempts to discover this phenomenon. So Mu2E is their new machine, I guess, right?
Yeah, and the
Okay. So,
What
oh,
else
the
are they going to use? Neodymium? I mean, if we talk to Jimmy, he'll say the other strong ones are these big giant neodymium magnets
right,
that he was talking about.
right, yes. Okay. So the other thing it says is, oh, the particles they are changing. There are 3 types of charged leptons. Is that or iepton? No, leptons. The electron is its heavy cousin, the muon, and the even weightier tau. Other types of elementary particles, quarks and neutrinos, also come in 3 varieties. But while quarks change into other kinds of quarks and neutrinos change into other kinds of neutrinos, scientists have never seen an equivalent change in charged leptons. The Mu2e muon 2 electron experiment will look for this extremely rare transformation. That's crazy, man. It's pretty empty in here. So this room here, this is the remote. It's the final remote, the FNAL remote operation center. This is like connecting them to CERN, I think, in Switzerland. And I was watching that video that I sent you this morning that said that CERN is on the same like longitude or latitude or something as Chicago.
Yeah, and they have a real-time communication network between Switzerland and there, which I believe uses the White Rabbit time synchronization technology.
Uh-huh. Are you a scientist?
Synchronize.
Oh, dude, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you?
Yes.
Okay, this is Quinn.
Hi.
What can you tell us about the particle accelerator, about the facility here?
Okay, I can tell you about my work here. I work here in this lab.
Are you from Switzerland?
No, I'm from Colombia.
Uh-huh.
I'm working on the idea of this laboratory. This is called the ROC. It's a remote operation center. The idea is have real-time communication with CERN. So when the accelerator is working and is capturing data all the day, during the day on CERN, the scientists there are depending on the data and of the machines. But in the night, here in the United States, in this lab, we are working on that. We are depending on everything.
Uh-huh.
So that's the idea. This, if you see that monitor in particular, the one with the camera, that's a monitor that has video directly to CERN and other laboratories in the world.
So you mean that one next to the clocks?
Yes.
Okay.
That one. So in the moment that it's everyone in the laboratories, it's like a giant office over the world, connected through that monitor and those cameras.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah, in this laboratory we are managing that kind of thing.
I see. And so, Quinn and I were just in South Dakota at LEED, where the new deep underground neutrino experiment is about to go online. Do you know about that part of the experiment?
I know a little about neutrino. I can't tell you much about that.
No?
I am in CMS project that it's another brand. It's not neutrino project, so
I see.
I don't know a lot of that.
And do you know anything about element 93, neptunium?
No, I don't know.
Don't know about that?
No, I don't know.
Are there any scientists here who I could speak to about that?
I don't know. In this moment, it's pretty hard to find some scientists to talk about that.
Yeah,
In part because it's Friday and because it's holidays too.
I see.
So maybe, I don't know, if you go, what time is it? If you pass to the third floor at 3 p.m., 3:30,
Uh-huh.
you are going to find there a lot of scientists.
Okay.
Maybe you go
Well, it's 3 o'clock right now. Maybe I should go.
in a half hour, maybe,
Ha-
3:30.
And then what about the 15th floor here? Is there good stuff on the 15th floor?
I never been in the
Really?
floor. Yes, because I'm pretty new.
When did you arrive here?
I'm arrived about 5 months ago, so I'm still learning a lot of things. in the
Hi.
place.
Are you a scientist?
No, I'm not. Are you the press?
No, I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel who's interested in the particle accelerator. Can I talk with you?
No, I'm not gonna. No.
No? Oh, why not? I just want to know about like what it's doing and what a neutrino or element 93, that you bombard uranium with neutrinos to get element 93.
I'm not a scientist.
Not a scientist.
No,
Is there any scientists I could speak to that would know about that?
they're all working right now, and don't record me.
I'm sorry, I'm just recording the sign, and you walked in front of the camera. Oh, all right. Gee, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going back to work.
Okay.
If you want, you can.
Yeah.
3.5.
Okay, thanks. And what floor did you say to go to?
The next floor.
The next floor. Take the stairs up there?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Well, what do you think, Quinn?
How does a person who works on neutrinos not know about superconductive magnetic materials or advanced particle research?
I don't know. It's weird. There's nobody here. Could order lunch over there.
Like the ghost town in Deadwood.
Say again?
It's like the ghost town in Deadwood. There's no one around.
It's kind of like that. You're right. It's reminiscent. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. What is that thing? Do you see that, Quinn? That thing out there?
Yeah.
What is that?
What is that?
I don't know. I'm asking you. You're the brains of this operation.
Does it look like a big giant circle?
Well, it looks kind of like a weirdly shaped, odd metallic object d'art. That's what it looks like to me. But let's just keep exploring and see what we've got here. So here's the floor. I guess this guy is saying at 3:30 all the scientists will be here. Now, what do we think of this? Heat sink or something?
Probably.
It says 2RR Wilson for the Upsilon, E288, June 1977. What do you think of that?
Well, it establishes a record back to 77.
What is an Upsilon?
I don't know, man. This is like really this is really the most advanced technology in the world. Like, I'm gonna have to watch your video quite a few times to know what I'm looking at.
Here's another weirdly shaped thing.
Where is everybody?
I don't know. What is all this
This
stuff?
is like the
Energy. It's just a sculpture.
it goes back to like the energy metal sculptures.
But it's a very inclusive facility. They have flags for all nations, including the gay pride flag, the Russian flag. I see the Union Jack, the Brazilian flag, the Israeli flag, Swiss flag, Italian flag, Canadian flag, American flag, Mexican flag, German flag, Ukrainian flag. I can't name all the flags, but there's a lot of them there.
So those are their partners. So these are all the countries that are participating in the research.
I see. Hey,
Hello.
are you a scientist?
I am not. My name is Andre. I'm the media relations person here.
Hi.
Hi. Just checking to see what you're up to.
I'm just recording the facility. I'm here in Chicago. They told me I'm allowed to record. It's a public visitor center, isn't it? This is my friend Quinn, who's on Skype.
No, I said you could take photos.
Well, these are photos.
Those are videos. They're photos.
Okay, I didn't realize that I wasn't allowed to video. Am I not?
Well, it is a public site, but I'm just here to see if I can assist in any way.
I would love that, absolutely.
What can I
Well,
do?
we just sort of, Quinn has been doing a lot of research into element 93, and let's do this. Switch it around this way so that you feel maybe a little bit more comfortable. Can I have you on camera with me like that?
Hi.
There we go.
Okay.
So, we were just in South Dakota. That's a little confusing. And we were checking out the deep underground neutrino experiment there.
Okay.
And we understand that you guys are shooting neutrinos from
yes.
here to there.
Correct.
That's pretty wild. Just curious to figure out what's up with that and find someone who can tell us about this element 93.
Okay, we don't do anything with element 93. That is not something that we do research on. We do research on neutrinos. I'm happy to set something up for you if you would like to contact me.
I just happened to be in Chicago today and came by because I was staying at a hotel nearby. So I could do that in the future, I guess, but it would,
Yeah, I mean, that would be a lot easier. Our scientists are all either busy or gone as it's 3 o'clock on
that's
Friday
cool.
afternoon.
I mean, am I allowed to just walk around the facility?
No, there are areas of the
I
facility that
mean,
are
the public
You're-
areas,
You're
yeah.
in one now, but up there is not public. The 15th floor, what time does that close, Kim? 4:30. You're able to go up to the 15th floor, certainly.
Okay. Would you like to escort me there to ensure that I don't do anything you don't want me to do?
I can, sure.
Sure, let's go.
Okay.
That'd be great, Andre. So how do we get there?
Downstairs to the elevator.
Okay, let's do it. Anything of interest you'd like to point out?
You're in the art gallery right now. We have a gallery where we exhibit works of art that sometimes have connections to science, but sometimes not necessarily.
I see.
It is open to the public every day.
And the deep underground neutrino experiment, it's
Right.
going online in 2017 or 2018?
It will take 10 years to build.
10 years.
Yeah. Can I ask you what you are doing this for?
I'm doing this for posterity so I can educate myself and,
Excellent. So this isn't planned to be posted anywhere?
well, it is. It'll go on the internet.
Yes. So can I ask what you're doing it for?
I have a YouTube channel called Crowdsource the Truth,
Okay.
and it's on there.
Okay.
Is that all right?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. So
Well, but it's a public space, right? I mean, this is like a tourist thing, isn't it?
people do come, certainly, and take tours. Yes.
Okay, well, that's sort of what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm sorry. if
You
I'm-
are, I mean, you are recording it as basically a member of the media. So
Well-
this is something that I'm supposed to arrange. It's something that
I
you're
didn't
not
know
supposed
that.
to show up and do.
Well, okay. I mean, I'm just a guy with a website. Am I a member of the media or am I?
Well, that depends. Are you?
I'm a citizen journalist, is
So
what.
journalist means member of the media. So that's
All right. So here we're going to the 15th floor.
sure.
Okay. Where's the button? I mean, if I'm doing anything you don't want me to do, you're free to ask me to stop.
Could you stop for a bit?
Well, I can't do. I either continue or stop. But I mean, am I doing anything bad?
I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of this is. I don't know
It's
what
just to
you're trying to find
record
out.
it and just.
I
This
don't
is
know.
an amazing building, and see, the gimbal doesn't work so well in here. I'm not going to be here for very much longer because I've got to leave pretty soon. But this is my buddy Quinn. He's very interested in neutrinos and particle accelerators and all the scientific aspects, and
Okay.
just, you know,
How many underground labs do they have across the world?
I have no idea.
Can you tell me what type of element they're using for their superconducting magnetic materials?
No, that is not a thing that I know.
Andre's not a scientist.
Right. I mean,
He's
as
the.
I've said, I'm happy to arrange something for you.
Well, we may want to do that in the future, but like I said, I was just here staying nearby doing something else, and someone told me, hey, Fermilabs is here, you should go check it out. So I came by.
It is here, certainly.
Yeah. Did that button get pushed? Maybe not. Okay. Whoops. Sorry, Quinn, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you would like to head on up to 15, I'm happy to let you.
Sure, thanks.
Go right.
Whoops. Whoa. Okay. Oh, I guess he's not coming. I thought he was going to join me. I don't know. What did you think of that, Quinn? He seemed kind of not happy that I'm here. Quinn? Well, let's see what we've got on the 15th floor. I don't know. I mean, I thought it's like, you know, going to the Science Museum. You there, Quinn? You still there? Okay.
Yeah, you cut out for a second. You just came back.
Okay. All right. So here, 15th floor. Now I'm just looking at myself. Not,
They sure came up on you.
I think we might have had another error here on the broadcast. I hope we're still going live. I may need to repost this as a separate thing later, but I hope we're still live.
You might see the painting on the wall and like the
What's that?
what's that painting? That thing on the wall to your left. What's the thing on the?
This? Hi. Are you a scientist?
Engineer, so.
Oh, really? Can I talk to you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Well, can you tell us a bit about the what's going on here? My name is Jason. How are you?
Right.
So, this is my friend Quinn,
Right.
and we're interested in the deep underground neutrino experiment and element 93 in particular. Do you know about that? Neptunium?
Element 93. No, not. I mean, I
No.
don't know that that has much to do with D.U.N.E necessarily, but anyway, is there a specific question?
Quinn? Specific question?
Oh, sorry, I just came. Yeah, I read a lot about in the spec about superconductive magnets, and I was just wondering what they're using for those.
Well, the magnets that we're using, do we even have? I'm trying to think. Do we have a superconducting magnet running right now? What we're mostly doing is so-called superconducting RF cavities. When the Tevatron was in operation, it was the sort of generic or old-fashioned superconductor, which is the niobium titanium alloy, which you can actually see in the middle right-hand side here in that display.
Uh-huh.
So if you get a close-up of this, it's a slice through the magnet, and you can actually see the sort of the cross-section of the windings there. I don't
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So that's a superconducting magnet?
Well, it's a chunk out of it. I mean, the magnets used in the Tevatron are, 14 feet long or whatever. So this is just a slice out of the central portion of it. So,
Uh-huh.
so the stand-up piece is a dipole. It has two windings. In this case, you can see them arrayed on the left and the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one laying flat is a four-pole, a quadrupole magnet. You can obviously see a four-fold symmetry there.
Hmm. And they super freeze them to make them superconducting?
Yeah, they were operated at 5 degrees above absolute zero, so they were in a bath of liquid helium.
Liquid helium.
Yeah.
Now, so you never heard of this element neptunium that is created by bombarding uranium with neutrinos?
Sure. Neutrinos? No, I think neutrons.
Sorry, I'm an idiot. I don't know about
Yeah.
science. Neutrons.
So it would be created essentially in a nuclear reactor.
Right.
Okay, and so we're an accelerator, so we don't really do that kind of work. So
But is it superconducting?
But Fermilabs does have their own reactor, don't they?
no, we don't have a reactor. We are just an accelerator. So
Uh-huh. Do you know if neptunium is superconducting?
I don't believe that enough of it has ever been made to know for sure.
Uh-huh.
Because it's at element 93. I'm trying to, I can't picture the periodic table, but I take it these are these elements sort of beyond the end of the naturally occurring elements,
Synthetic,
right?
yeah.
And so most of them have a very short half-life, nobelium and americium and what's the other one? There's lawrencium, I guess, named after Lawrence.
Curium?
Curium. Yeah, so most of them are unstable. As soon as you make them, they have a half-life and they decay.
Of seconds, right?
It depends, I think, on their mass, but that is certainly outside of any experience I may have had, right? So it's only what I might have read years ago, but
Got it.
I don't know if, and I doubt that enough of it has been made to know its electrical properties. I mean, you can look it up on the web, and they'll usually say, mass, boiling point, melting point, unknown, right? Because there's just not enough of it to make any of those measurements.
Right. Well, Quinn, anything else you want to ask?
No.
Okay. Somebody was calling right there. There's a lot of activity here on the phones and the Skype and everything. Well, thank you, sir. Any other interesting things about the particle accelerator that you could tell us? It's shooting neutrinos through the mantle of the Earth to South Dakota, right?
Right. So, that's the plan. It's pointed at Minnesota right now. So the D.U.N.E is, it's a giant project. It will take many years to complete, and so that.
Why is it being in Minnesota?
Pardon?
Why is it shooting at Minnesota?
Well, because at the time they didn't. Well, how should I say it? The oscillation period of the neutrinos were unknown at the time. They didn't even know if there was any, and so they picked an underground facility that was in Minnesota. We'd already have some other experiments there. So then after running for 5 or 6 years, they sort of came to understand that it's a bit close, that the neutrinos don't actually, only a fraction of them change. So the ideal distance turns out to be like 2.5 times further. So they cast about for an underground site that was an appropriate distance, and so that's why they picked South Dakota.
What do they ultimately hope to do?
They want to measure the so-called oscillation parameters of the neutrino. So I mean, so if you recall, Calvin and Hobbes, he had his cardboard box there that was called the transmogrifier.
Yeah.
You could take anything, put in it, and get anything back out. So there are 3 types of neutrino. Each of them comes from decay of a different particle. So there's an electron neutrino, a muon neutrino, and a tau neutrino. And it turns out that they spontaneously change from one type of neutrino to another. And that was, fairly astonishing that it would do that. So Ray Davis.
So is it like a transmutation change that they take on? Or
Well,
is it just a spontaneous
they
shift?
spontaneously turn into a different type of neutrino, right? So they originally generated, say, a tau neutrino. When a tau particle decays, it gives off, as part of its decay products, a neutrino that is very specific to that particle. When a muon decays, it gives off a muon neutrino. And you also have then an electron neutrino. So, for example, when a neutron is removed from an atom, it will spontaneously decay to a proton, an electron, and an electron neutrino. And that's what Fermi is famous for, because they added up the mass of the proton, the mass of the electron, and it didn't add up to the original mass of the neutron. So then Fermi postulated that there was this little neutrino in the Italian, that must have escaped. And so then this particle was discovered in reactor experiments in the early 50s. So Fermi postulated it in the late 30s, and in the early 50s they actually discovered this thing. So then they also, more or less at the same time, came to understand that muons, when they decayed, produced a muon neutrino, and the tau particle was discovered, in the 60s, and it's a type of particle that closely resembles the electron. It's even more massive, so the muon is more massive than the electron, and the tau is more massive than the muon. And when either the electron, the muon, or the tau decay, they produce their corresponding neutrinos. And then Ray Davis in the 60s and 70s, coincidentally, actually had an underground site in South Dakota at the mine where we intend to point the beam. He had a giant tank of essentially cleaning fluid, and he was collecting solar neutrinos. And he got 1/3 the number that you expect from the sun. And he sort of sojourned in the wilderness for decades, right? He refined his measurements.
Wow.
And it's a very difficult experiment because you get a tiny amount of argon, I think, from the chlorine as a result of these neutrino interactions. But he consistently got 1/3 of the number that you expect. And then finally, the evidence started building up that they were literally changing into the opposite or different types of neutrinos. So if you start out with electron neutrinos from the sun, they're sitting there flipping back and forth between these other 2 types, and when they come and hit the Earth, only on average 1/3 of them have flipped back to the original type that left the sun. And so this was just an absolutely astonishing result. I mean, Ray Davis was doubted. I mean, what they say, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. And
Right.
so he worked for years and years, and then finally there was corroborating evidence from an underground detector in Japan. And so then Ray Davis and the director of the Japanese laboratory got the Nobel Prize for essentially discovering neutrino oscillations.
Wow.
So then, how long do they go before they oscillate? Okay, and is it exactly 1/3? And if when they go from electron to muon, and is that the same likelihood is muon going back to electron? No one knows. So that's this measurement of these whole constellation of numbers is the purpose of these neutrino experiments.
I see. What do you think of that, Quinn?
So
It's pretty cool knowledge. How many underground facilities is Fermilabs communicating with?
I'm sorry?
How many other facilities is Fermilabs communicating with?
Communicate.
Yeah, like underground laboratory.
Well, right at this moment, it's in the FAR detector is in Ash River, Minnesota, which is basically as far away as you can get from Fermilab without going into Canada. So it's like 3 miles from the Canadian border. So, and it's actually above ground, and it's basically a warehouse full of plastic tubes, and the tubes are filled with oil, basically. And when a charged particle goes through these oils, they give off a little flash of light, and and these tubes are like 3 stories tall, and there's a stack of them that are, I don't know, 200 feet deep, and tens
No,
of.
but how many other accelerator research or neutrino research laboratories does Fermilab work with around the world?
Oh, that we work with. Yeah, I mean, then for
Yeah.
the D.U.N.E has a
You guys
pretty.
have like time monitors,
So we have it
like lead or
like, I'm sorry, what?
LEED and CERN. How many other facilities like that?
Okay, yeah, I mean, so there are then the first family of prototype detectors is actually being shipped from Europe to here, which is called Proto-D.U.N.E. So the Proto-D.U.N.E. detector was packed up and shipped from Switzerland to Fermilab. Right, and so there are a number of European groups working with us or working with Fermilab on building the D.U.N.E. Detectors. And there's 2 detectors, a so-called near detector and a far detector, because you have to know how many neutrinos you're actually sending to that place. So there's a near detector to measure how many how many. Sorry?
What's the number of science labs that Fermi is working with that are deep underground? Like in the not the details. Like what's the number of laboratories? Like how many? You have ones in Russia.
Boy, I think the answer for right now is just one, which is the
D.U.N.E and LEED.
the lead South Dakota. Right. So we
But what about CERN? You
CERN.
communications with CERN, right?
right, but we're not pointing any accelerators towards them. Right. If that because that's what.
That's not what I asked.
But it's hard to hear you. Sorry, Quinn.
Where you guys work?
Sorry, Quinn. Say it again.
Dark matter research,
Dark
Oh.
matter research.
stories.
Right. So I mean, the dark matter groups are. Well, for example, I happen to work on the cryogenic dark matter search, so we work with mostly the American universities, but our detector will be installed in Snow in Canada, in Sudbury, Ontario. So that's, but we're not pointing any beams there. We're just using that facility because it's deep underground. Right.
Why do they have buffaloes here?
That was the director that liked it. Our first director, Wilson, was from Wyoming, right? And so he
But
liked
don't you
it.
guys have so much going on? Taking care of buffaloes seems like a distraction.
We have one guy
Who
that
takes
does
care
it.
of all the buffaloes?
Yeah, right.
And what about all the houses on the grounds? Do you live here on the grounds?
So our visitors, I mean, the visiting physicists, they can live on site.
Uh-huh.
So they bring, because they're here for a year, at a time or whatever, and they'll bring their families. And
It's like a nice neighborhood over there.
It's okay, but it's a bit isolated,
Right.
So I mean, it is, I don't know what it's like, kind of living like not quite, but akin to living on an army base, right? Yeah.
Right, right. Quinn, any other questions?
No.
All
No,
right,
I have much to learn now.
Okay.
great.
Well, I mean, there are websites for all of these, so if you go to D.U.N.E, you can get a bunch of information about that.
I've already looked at those, and part of my research is how Enrique Fermi was involved in element 92 superconductive research that you guys are doing. So I'm just looking to find out what you're using.
Yeah, that is a new one. I've never heard of that. So
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Fermi was involved in that research.
Element 93 research, was that, Quinn?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, Fermi was also involved in quantum research.
Yeah, so I mean, it certainly could be that, I mean, I think that it could be that he was involved in these reactor experiments, you know, creating new elements. That sounds totally plausible.
Okay, great. What do you think, Quinn? Pretty good?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thanks very much. Sure. Appreciate it. Well, that was certainly interesting, Quinn. A lot of scientific stuff that I don't really understand. So we're on the 50. Hey, Quinn, can you see that?
Look at that. Yeah, look at that beauty.
Those are the same type of electrical towers we saw in the desert in Nevada. What do you think about that?
Zoom in on them?
I can do it on the broadcast. I can't do it on Skype. Whoa.
So you're telling me the only those towers are for me and the desert in Nevada?
Well, they look about the same. They're not exactly the same. As I recall, the ones in Nevada, they met at the base. These are a little wider at the base. But it sure looks the same to me. It's pretty weird,
Very coincidental. Wow.
I would say.
The company that made those is out of Chicago. Too.
That's interesting. And there's their Fermi logo in the grass.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know what to make of any of this, but it certainly counts as investigating.
Well, it seems strange that the scientists don't seem to know the periodic table.
You're breaking up a little bit there, Quinn. We'll have to do a wrap-up show about this when I get to better network connectivity, but you're saying it's strange that he didn't. I mean, he's an engineer, he said, so I guess. Oh, wait, here's another picture. Pie-shaped power poles. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It says pie-shaped power poles shaped like the Greek letter and mathematical symbol pi. The poles for Fermilabs' 345,000 volt power line were designed by Robert Wilson, Fermilabs' founding director. Initially made of wood, they were replaced with steel structures of identical shape in 2007. They look a little different than what we saw in Vegas, but the design principle seems the same. And there's this Fenman Computing Center. It's a 3-story semicircular building named after visionary physicist Richard Feynman. Has a glass facade on the north. On the south side, precast panels protect computing equipment from the sun. Dedicated in 1988, it won the Corporate Energy Management Award by the Association of Energy Engineers. And then they talk about the buffalo barn and the pasture. A herd of American bison introduced by director Robert Wilson in 1969 shows Fermilab's connection to the prairie heritage of this land. The barn, built before Fermilab existed, provides shelter for hay and farming equipment. I mean, you know, they got buffaloes there. And then they also have a cafe where I think you can eat buffaloes. Illinois Accelerator Research Center. The Illinois Accelerator Research Center completed in 2014. This is all like brand new stuff, Quinn. It's an 83,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility that provides office, technical, and educational space for developing cutting-edge accelerator technologies. In this building, scientists and engineers from Fermilab, Argonne, and Illinois University work side by side with industrial partners to research and develop breakthroughs in accelerator science. The IARC building is LEED Gold certified, which means that every element of the project was carried out with the environment in mind. That's interesting. What about shooting neutrinos through the planet? Is that okay for the environment? I don't know. Maybe. The use of regional and...
So they're talking about elemental research.
Yep. Well, the use of regional and... Don't know about
They
93.
don't know about element 93.
Well, I mean, not everybody here can know everything. The use of regional and recycled materials was an important aspect of the project. Use of daylight, energy-efficient equipment, prairie landscaping, and a roof garden helped earn the building leadership in energy and environmental design status. And then this is, I guess, the big mamma jamma right here. the Fermilab test beam facility. Scientists from all over the world come to the Fermilab test beam facility to test the performance of their prototype particle detectors. It's the only facility of its kind in the United States. It provides high-energy particle beams and experimental areas necessary to conduct test measurements of particle interactions. The facility is located in a building constructed in the early 1970s for some of the first particle physics experiments at Fermilab.
I know their sensors use that element in that facility.
Okay. Well, it says that it provides high-energy particle beams and experimental areas necessary to conduct test measurements of particle interactions. The facility is located in a building constructed in the early 1970s for some of the first particle physics experiments at Fermilab. Its scalloped roof is part of Fermilab's architectural heritage, designed by founder Robert Wilson and in-house artist Angela Gonzalez. Its key architectural feature are 12 concave arches made from culvert sections painted blue and orange. The bold use of color is one of the distinctive characteristics of our laboratory. Interesting information for sure. Technology, intensity, frontier. There's a lot of stuff here, Quinn.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't know what this is. So this is a silicon vertex detector, which, I mean, you know, you shouldn't be without one of these. This is a prototype. It's a prototype of a particle detector that uses silicon technology developed to replace an older detector at the center of the CDF experiment. They have a typo there. Protons and antiprotons enter the detector from the opposite ends of the beam pipe that runs through the detector. The silicon reveals the trajectories of charged particles escaping from the proton-antiproton collisions. The silicon panels are made of ultra-thin strips that determine particle trajectories with great precision, determining all trajectories. Scientists can find each vertex at which a heavy particle decays into two or more lighter particles. I mean, I think you got to be a genius to even understand what the hell is going on the 15th floor. This is, I mean, oh yeah, so that sculpture appears as a tiny little version of itself over in the cabinet there. That's Robert F. Wilson. He believed that a research laboratory should be a cultural center for the community and the nation. He was both a renowned physicist and an accomplished artist and sculptor. Wilson greatly influenced the design of the entire laboratory and contributed several sculptures to the site. Broken symmetry, located at Fermilab's Pine Street entrance and shown in this photo, appears asymmetric from the side but perfectly symmetric when viewed directly from behind. It's interesting. Three-dimensional art. Well, there's a lot of stuff to be seen here, Quinn. My arms are getting quite tired. Whoa, what was that a picture of? I guess beams. Can you see all this stuff? I don't know what they're trying to tell us here, but they're shooting beams. It's pretty crazy scientific stuff, man. It's a cool little field trip, huh?
Yeah. Need so many people to understand stuff.
I guess we're not allowed in there. Oh, no. Visitor gallery over here. I mean, let's see what else we got out the windows. We're seeing all kinds of interesting stuff. Keep the door closed. But it says visitor gallery. I don't know. Am I able to open it? Okay. What's this, Quinn?
What is that?
I don't know. I mean, it looks functional.
I think you're in a single underground lab.
Is it a mock underground thing? Here, New particle accelerator at Fermilab. Across the parking lot in front of you, on the other side of the ring road, Fermilab plans to build a new 600-foot-long particle accelerator. This superconducting LINAC will replace the 40-year-old linear accelerator located on the west side of Wilson Hall. This will be the new first gear of the Fermilab accelerator complex. It will increase the performance of the entire complex so that Fermilab can provide the world's most intense particle beams for neutrino and other particle physics experiments. It's the state of the art of accelerator technologies. So I guess, I don't know, that's nothing about, wait a minute, you're right. It says state of the art accelerator. The superconducting LINAC will propel more protons to higher energy over a shorter distance than the existing LINAC at Fermilab.
What are they using for superconductivity?
Well, he said they had those little quad pole magnets down there that they super freeze, and then those are the superconductors. But obviously, if you're spending all this dough to superconduct stuff, you're going to want to find the most efficient superconductor that you can. I definitely want to find out some more about element 93. Anyway, so instead of copper structures that accelerate a pulse beam, the SCL will use more efficient and powerful superconducting niobium cavities to accelerate a stream of protons to 800 MeV, or about 84% of the speed of light. That's impressive. The construction and testing of prototype components for the new accelerator has begun and is carried out in collaboration with the U.S. Department of Energy National Laboratories as well as the Department of Atomic Energy in India. And I guess they're building it somewhere out over there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. This is just, I guess, it's like a small section of, I don't know what. This just looks like a mock-up or a piece of the old thing. Linear accelerator. You know, I'll just try to grab this stuff so if people want to review it later, I can't read all this. But it looks like you got functional offices in there. Nobody's in them. It's interesting. Well, no, I mean, they said it's Friday and it's close to the holidays. Particle beams from an accelerator can help keep the nation's ports safer by providing a more effective solution for identifying radioactive material in cargo. What the hell is going on here, Quinn? Everything seems to be related to stuff that we've been talking about for months. Oh. Well, there's a port. I hope Joe Napoli is watching. I am not able to look at comments because I've run out of arms. But if we've lost Quinn, it's possible that we've lost the stream. I'm going to keep recording, and then we can.
Back.
You're back. Okay. Did you see that part about how they're going to detect radioactive stuff in the ports? I think I lost you there.
I got just the beginning of it.
Well, they said that somehow the particle beam is going to help detect radioactive stuff in the ports, and I just find it crazy coincidental. I'm sure you could have a field day here, Quinn. This is the second best thing to being here yourself.
What was that?
Jelly beans?
Cosmo?
Quantum questions. How can we solve the mystery of dark energy? Do all forces become one? Why are there so many kinds of particles? What are neutrinos telling us? 5% visible matter, 25% dark matter, 70% dark energy. I thought somebody told us dark matter was not real. Wasn't that Jimmy?
The science says it is.
What happened to the antimatter? What is dark matter? How can we make dark matter in the laboratory? Are there undiscovered principles of nature? I would say sure. Are there extra dimensions of space? How did the universe come to be? This is some pretty huge questions. Here's the dark energy camera. So physicists are searching for signs of dark energy, the ubiquitous invisible substance that speeds up the acceleration of the universe. Dark energy seems to make up 70% of all matter and energy in the universe. The dark energy camera built at Fermilab will look for dark energy effects by capturing images of roughly 300 million galaxies from the Blanco telescope in Chile. Where'd that guy downstairs say he was from? Colombia, I think.
Cuba.
Cuba?
Or Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah,
Now,
Colombia.
there's the Pierre Auger Observatory cryogenic dark matter search. The goal of the CDMS experiment is the detection of dark matter particles in a laboratory deep underground at Snow Lab in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. So far, evidence for evidence for dark matter is based on astrophysical observations of large-scale gravitational effects. CDMS scientists use ultra-sensitive detectors cooled to 30 millikelvin to look for heat signals and charge signals created by weakly interacting dark matter particles. That sounds pretty darn cold to me. Well, here's a poster about water and the quark, hydrogen atoms. I mean, it's a pretty cool science museum for sure. They got all this, information. Oh, look at that.
Hey,
What do you think of
look
that?
at a nice circle there.
So what's up with that? That's an accelerator under there?
Or a booster ring, or other type of circle technology, possibly. But it's just very coincidental that you're shooting at a circle complex there.
I mean, yeah. The map that they gave me, there, see main injector road, there's a lot of circular stuff here. There's this thing. It's all circles. It's all circles these days, Quinn.
It's all circle.
Well, here's the muon G2 experiment. The experiment will probe the properties of muons, short-lived particles that are about 200 times heavier than electrons. Scientists brought a particle storage ring, which is in that inset photograph, from Brookhaven Lab in New York to Fermilab and installed it in this building, 1,000 feet south of Wilson Hall. And here's like a little...
So the one thing I'm definitely learning from this is that they've established they have relationships with labs everywhere from India to New York to Canada to South Dakota
Yeah.
to Europe.
Well, I mean, it's the most sophisticated scientific facility of its kind in the world, right? Or in the United States, at least. So, I mean, that makes sense that they have, people from all over the world, scientists and whatnot, coming here to do research and figure out what is up with dark matter and muons and all of that.
Well, and then who pays for it?
I don't know. How does this place get money?
Yeah.
I guess
Who pays for it?
grants or the government, or they said that the Department of Energy is involved, atomic, whatever.
So it's tax dollars.
I don't know. We could look into that. I mean, this is certainly the most complete education in particle acceleration that I've ever gotten.
Me too.
There you go. Well, I think I might leave pretty soon. What's that?
I said that's one of my big observations is that these are the most expensive science experiments in the world. Who's paying for it?
Yeah. I don't know. Here's more questions. What messages do neutrinos bring from the beginning of time? Are we on the threshold? What's the matter with Ant? What is dark matter? Is there a simple explanation for it all? What is the trajectory of our universe? How did we evolve? These are massive questions. This place is asking the most massive questions that transcend science, religion, the dawn of the universe, all that stuff. Well, I don't know, Quinn. I think that's maybe the end, huh?
It's what?
I might be ready to leave. What do you think?
Yeah, no, this is a good confirmation research, and I still don't know why we can't seem to find a scientist that knows a lot about element 93.
Well, we've only spoken to a limited number of scientists, but I agree with you. Most people have not heard much about element 93. And when I searched YouTube, in preparation for coming here, I wasn't able to learn that much about it. In fact, hi, are you a scientist?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I wasn't able to learn too much about it. And in fact, I found a couple of videos that were like the robot voice that repeated the same thing. So someone is trying to put out a specific type of information about element 93 and maybe limit it to just that level of understanding.
That's what I observed as well.
So I got this guy's business card. Maybe I could call him and at some point come back and maybe, or maybe get on Skype with a scientist. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'd like to come out there when the weather's a bit warmer and look around myself.
Okay. Well, I hope this stream has remained healthy throughout the course of the broadcast. And Quinn, I'm going to sign off right now. Good seeing you on a tiny screen, my man.
Good seeing you. See you guys later.
All right. Take care, everybody. See you soon.